This, try that again. This is the L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final with Steve the Baxman Baxley. I'm Harry von Stuttgart, and now with the day in sports, and what a day it's been. Here's our man, Steve the Baxman Baxley. Oh, I forgot to mention, tonight's sponsor, still the L2C Media Network. Now here's Steve. Hi, hi-de-ho, how you doing, everybody? What a way to go. Indeed, and the hair continues to grow. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the L2C Sports Final. I'll give you a little rundown what we're going to talk to you about. The fate of the 2020 baseball season continues to be in doubt. Once again, the ball is in the court of the owners. Major League Baseball Players Association make a proposal. How much you want to bet that this one doesn't make people happy? Plus, NASCAR may see an end of an era. We'll explain that. We got scores, shoutouts, headlines, and more. Soccer, esports, you name it, we got it. And best of all, it's 45 minutes. So with that said, with that done, and with that blessed to everyone, let's get started on a rather dull night. And I say dull because most of the boom booms is somewhat north. But tomorrow, as David Young mentions, tomorrow's weather could be the biggie for all of us. So please watch Channel 6 for any bulletins and further developments. That's for all of us here in the mid-Michigan area, Lansing, Jackson, South Central, Lower Michigan, or just Lower Michigan. Either way. For the rest, if you want to see Michigan news, WLNS.com. Hit the old stream button. You got us. All that, and as I said, a whole heck of a lot more. So now that we've said that, guess what? We got sports to do, and we're going to do that right now. Oh, man, are you glad to be with us tonight? I know I am. I'm glad to be anywhere tonight. Convalesce and download so we can do this. Let's get you all the day's sports news. That is why we're here. And as I said, we got your number. Now, if you remember, Reebok sort of canceled the contract with CrossFit effective after this year. Well, maybe they want to change their mind. Here's the reason why maybe they could change their mind, but I doubt. Here's the latest. CrossFit CEO Greg Glassman announced Tuesday that he is stepping down as head of the company in the wake of making numerous insensitive comments about the death of George Floyd. Dave Castro will assume the CEO role, according to a pair of statements the two released. Here is Glassman's statement. Quote, I'm CEO of CrossFit Inc., and I have decided to retire, Glassman said in his statement. Further, on Saturday, I created a rift in the CrossFit community and unintentionally hurt many of its members. Since I founded CrossFit 20 years ago, it has become the world's largest network of gyms. All are aligned in offering an elegant solution to the vexing problem of chronic disease. Creating CrossFit and supporting its affiliates and legions of professional trainers has been a labor of love. end quote. Now, Reebok announced that Monday it was ending its longtime partnership with CrossFit following the comments made on Twitter by Glassman in the wake of the death of George Floyd and the protests that have followed. In response to a tweet from the Institute of Health for Health Metrics and Evaluation, in which they said racism and discrimination are, quote, critical public health issues, end quote, Glassman replied with, quote, it's Floyd 19, end quote. Not funny. Now, Floyd was a victim in the most recent incident of police brutality against a black person when he was killed after a Minneapolis police officer was caught on video kneeling on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. The death of Floyd has shaken the country to its core and sparked widespread protests all across the United States and the world. Several athletes have spoken out since Floyd's death. Reebok said it will end its partnership with CrossFit after it fulfills its current contract obligation as a title sponsor for the 2020 CrossFit Games. Reebok said in a statement sent to Footwear News, our partnership with CrossFit HQ comes to an end later this year. Recently, we've been in discussions regarding a new agreement. However, in light of recent events, we've made the decision to end our partnership with CrossFit HQ. We will fulfill our remaining contractual obligations in 2020. We owe this to the CrossFit Games, competitors, fans, and the community. What doesn't change is our commitment and dedication to CrossFitters and the passionate CrossFit community. We're so thankful for the strong bonds we've created with coaches, box owners, and athletes around the world for the past 10 years. Other CrossFit affiliates such as CrossFit Magnus, Petworth Fitness, Rogue, and No Bull announced that they would also be ending their affiliations with the company. Four-time CrossFit Games individual champion Rich Froning also criticized Glassman's remark in a video posted on his Instagram. Quote, the comments made this weekend only divide, Froning said. And at this time, in the world we live in right now, we don't need comments or people to divide us even further. We need to come together, end quote. But that wasn't the only time the CrossFit CEO decided to take a dive into some problematic language. As BuzzFeed News reported on Tuesday, Glassman told gym owners in a private Zoom call that the organization was, quote, not mourning for George Floyd. I don't think me or any of my staff are, end quote. When a gym owner in Minneapolis asked why the company had not put out a statement about the nationwide protest against police brutality following the death of George Floyd at the hands of police, Glassman decided to double down on his comments and replied, quote, can you tell me why I should mourn for him other than that it's the right thing to do? Other than that, give me another reason, end quote. These comments were reportedly made hours before the tweet that caused a public backlash and lost Reebok sponsorship took place. Slip of the tongue right there. And I apologize for the slip of the tongue. It's twice. Once last night and tonight. Okay. With the baseball season 2020 in, in kind of big mess up, actually, in the balance. The Major League Baseball Players Association, we got the wrong story, guys. Can we get the right story up? Okay, can we get the right story up, please? Please, the right story. We've done the CrossFit story. Let's get to the baseball story, please. Okay, thank you. With the 2020 Major League Baseball season in the balance, well, the situation seems now more and more hectic and problematic. Both Major League Baseball and the Players Association continued negotiating an abbreviated 2020 season on Tuesday, one day after Major League Baseball proposed a 76-game season with a 75% prorated pay. I cannot talk. Prorated pay. The union countered with an 89-game season in full prorated pay, according to ESPN, in 2020 and 2021. Now, Tuesday's proposal represents a compromise from the players who proposed a 114-game season with full prorated pay and an expanded postseason 2 weeks ago. Major League Baseball Players Association insists on full prorated pay. The players want to get paid for the games they play, while Major League Baseball stays fatly demanding additional pay reduction. Now, here's the timeline. And here you go. May 26th, Major League Baseball proposed an 82-game season with sliding salary scale. May 31st, MLBPA proposed a 114-game season with full prorated salary and possible deferrals. June 1st, MLB indicates willingness to pay full prorated salaries, but for a 48 to 54-game season. June 8th, the MLB proposed a 76-game season with 75% prorated salary. And today, the Players Association proposed an 89-game season with full prorated salary. Note a trend here. Now, the MLBA's proposal also includes a $5 million fund to assist minor leaguers and charitable organizations focused on social justice initiatives, according to Bill Shakin of the LA Times. MLB's proposals would all pay the players roughly 1/3 of their full season salary, only across a different number of games. The Players Association has expressed willingness to defer some salary to help the clubs navigate their short-term cash flow problems, and now they're proposing fewer games and thus less salary. An expanded postseason field will generate significant additional television revenue for baseball. Commissioner Rob Manfred cannot unilaterally expand the postseason. However, the MLBPA must agree, and that is a significant bargaining chip. It's hard to imagine the union agreeing to an expanded postseason if the owners insist on another pay reduction. The two sides agreed to prorated salaries in March, though owners believe the agreement allows for another pay reduction should games be played without fans, which is very, very likely. The players consider the matter closed and are challenging Manfred's ability to unilaterally schedule the season by proposing more games. Jared Diamond of the Wall Street Journal reports the Players Association proposed a 9-game regular season would run from July 10th to October 11th, ensuring the postseason does not overlap with the NBA Finals, which are scheduled to end October 12th. Baseball does not want to delay the postseason for several reasons, including the difficulty securing broadcast deals in November and a potential second wave of the coronavirus. Now, there's no hard deadline for an agreement, but the longer negotiations drag on, the fewer games they'll play. Both sides want to play as many games as possible. They just have very different ideas about how the players should be compensated. In other words, they're stubborn like jackasses. That's a fact. Yak. 23 minutes to pass the hour here on the L2C Sports. The announcer is Harry von Stuttgart, and we're glad to be here on YouTube.com/Lugnut6. Okay, in college football news, yes, there is some good news to report. Yes. You remember a while ago, for those of you, The former USC running back Reggie Bush, well, um, he has been former USC running back Reggie Bush has been disassociated from the program since the NC2A brought down massive sanctions on the Trojans in 2010. That appears to be changing in the near future, as ESPN reported on Tuesday that USC and Bush are in the stages of finalizing an agreement that will allow one of the best players in program history to begin associating with the program again. The NCAA extra benefits while he was a student athlete at USC. Among those bennies were a $600,000 house near San Diego, $10,000 allowance to furnish the home. Bush had to return his 2005 Heisman Trophy. The USC was the investigation on infractions adopted a rule in 2017 that any NCAA mandated disassociation from a school can only last 10 years rather than indefinitely. From there, it is up to the program to decide whether to allow a sanctioned player or coach can return to being part of its efforts either on or off the field, according to CBS Sports' Double D, Dennis Dodd. Now, the sanctions against USC were handed down on June 10th, 2010, making Thursday 10 years to the day of the initial penalty. USC has tried to reinstate Bush to the program 3 times since the sanctions were levied, according to the Los Angeles Times via an October 2019 report from the Daily Trojan. Now, as Tim Tessalone, from the spokesman for USC, said, USC has long said that we would love to have Reggie back around campus, but the NC2A has mandated the school permanently disassociate from Reggie, end quote. If we did so, it would lead to further NC2A penalties. We've tried several times to appeal the permanent disassociation with no luck. We would love to have him back, end quote. Bush has maintained that he would like to be involved with the USC again. Despite the dissociation, the NC2A granted a work-related exception and allowed Bush to return to USC in September 2019 as part of his TV duties with Fox. Now, all is about to be forgiven, and he will be reinstated. And it feels so good. It does. Better believe it.
State wouldn't bring us back to school if they weren't fully prepared to have us back to school. But you also hope that they have a game plan for what happens if a second wave hits us and
okay.
rush off campus like they were last
year. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's up on the awful announcing, folks. All that and a whole lot more. It's a good show tonight. Please join us. We hope you'll love it. So, here we go. Here we go, gang. Now, you're going to ask, I know you're asking, hey, does Nick Rekieta have something good tonight on? Last night was a hoot and a half with Drexel. But what about tonight? What's Nick Rekieta got? Well, I don't know. Do you? Well, I don't know, actually. Yes, we do. Tonight, Rekieta Media, on the Rekieta Media channel, it's Real Gaming Hours with Drex. That's right, Drexel makes another appearance tonight for a little gaming time. Real Gaming Hours with Drex. He'll be on the Rekieta Media channel on YouTube. That's Rekieta Media. As for Rekieta Law, Lost Playing the Interwebs, not on tonight, but hey, join us for Real Gaming Hours with Drex. That is a hoot and a holler. And that's coming up tonight midnight Eastern. A media channel on YouTube. Please enjoy responsibly, sort of. Okay, we've reached half of this program. And how good are we doing? We're doing good, aren't we? Yes. Let's sink in with the chat. Hey, Matt! How you doing, buddy? Great to see you, by the way. If y'all want to be a part of it, we do have a chat window here. So please enjoy, imbibe, and be one with the freakouts here, as I am here. You're doing well. That is good. I am doing moderately interesting tonight. By the way, for those of you wondering what I am drinking, I am drinking from the land of water. From Market Pantry. Target. Market Pantry strawberry lemonade sparkling water beverage. It's tasty. It's delicious. And best of all, it is sugar-free. There ain't no sugar, and there is no calories. And it's in many, many flavors. So go to your local Target store and buy yourself some Market Pantry sparkling water beverage. Okay, by the way, no warnings are currently in effect here in the mid-Michigan area, but we're watching southwest, the storm that is beginning to form near Champaign, Illinois, and near the eastern area. So tomorrow, it's good watching. Make sure that you tune in to your local TV stations for a big match. Tomorrow's high 83, low of 74. Thursday, showers continue, 75 and 57, as everything starts to cool down and we can give the fans a rest. Wow. For more weather updates, get in touch with the folks from Storm Tracker 6. They know what they're doing.
All right, stay safe, everybody. Thanks for staying up late with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.
They know what they're doing, kids. And aren't you glad of that? Anyway, glad to see Matt's here. Want to see some more people chatting. We're going to do some shout outs later, but right now, you know what? Let's get back into this, shall we? We shall get back into this. And let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the chickens and the trees and the moon up above. Anyway, time for some more bits and pieces of fun. We got a lot of sports to cover tonight, and of course, one thing that is possibly going to be saying adieu is the Confederate flag. And by that, I mean from reports from the Vegas Sun, among others. Let's give it a little look. This from our friends over at the Las Vegas Sun. NASCAR could see an end of an era, as there are now calls to ban the Confederate flag altogether. The familiar scenes of Confederate flags waved by fans at NASCAR tracks could soon be a relic of racing's good old boys' roots. Bubba Wallace, the lone black driver in the sport, wants a stock car series with deep ties to the South and the flag and its properties, and formally distance itself from what for millions is a symbol of slavery and racism. There are signs that NASCAR is on its way to do that. As the nation grapples with social unrest following the death of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis, the predominantly white field of drivers united for a video promoting social change. A black NASCAR official took a knee before Sunday's race near Atlanta in what may have been a first for the series, and the governing body vowed to do a better job of addressing racial injustice. Wallace, who wore a black t-shirt with the words "I can't breathe" at Sunday's race, seized the moment and issued his most compelling comments yet on the topic of race and racing. Quote, "My next step would be to get rid of all Confederate flags," end quote. Wallace told CNN, quote, "There should be no individual that is uncomfortable showing up to our events to have a good time with their family that feels some type of way about something they have seen, an object they have seen flying. No one should feel uncomfortable when they come to a NASCAR race. So it starts with Confederate flags. Get them out of here. They have no place for them," end quote. Wallace arrived in the sport hyped as a trailblazer of sorts in a series that has long lacked diversity in the field. He finished second in the 2018 Daytona 500, but has had limited success and often needed patchwork sponsorship deals to keep racing. His biggest reach for now is as an agent of change. The 26-year-old Alabama native has pushed the pushed the issue of race to the front burner for NASCAR. Now, NASCAR has been more open in recent times to the eradication of the Confederate flag. Former chairman Brian France in 2015 tried to ban the flying of Confederate flags at racetracks, a proposal too broad to enforce and one that angered NASCAR's core Southern-based fan base. Yeah, I got that word right. Not everyone's obliged, and fans staunchly defended their Confederate flags and raised them from their RVs. NASCAR historian Dan Pierce said, "Now it's kind of a middle finger." But as Confederate monuments are toppled around the South and calls for social justice continue to ring out, those fans may have run out of time. Wallace will make another statement Wednesday when NASCAR returns to Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. He's driving a hashtag Black Lives Matter paint scheme for Richard Petty Motorsports number 43 Chevrolet. Wallace said in a Twitter video, "I think it's going to speak volumes for what I stand for. We knew the Martinsville race was open. We did not spell sponsorship for that. And it sparked an idea of why not run a, quote, blackout car, or a hashtag blackout car. The message is simple for Wallace, quote, all lives will not matter until black lives matter, end quote. Wallace, though, conceded he rarely gave the Confederate flag much thought. NASCAR took a hit when driver Kyle Larson was fired in April after he uttered a racial slur during a live-streamed virtual race. But drivers have forged ahead, ready to create what they hope is a new legacy in the sport. Denny Hamlin, two-time Daytona 500 champion, said he would support NASCAR taking a hard line on the Confederate flag. Hamlin, in an interview, said, quote, NASCAR is going to continue to make changes, and I'm sure they'll look at what flags they want to fly in the infield. If you look at all the haulers each and every weekend, they've got the American flags flown all over the top of them. That's what we salute when we do the national anthem. Ryan Blaney, who is tight with Wallace, says he joined some of the peaceful protests in Charlotte and also called for the end of the Confederate flag. Blaney said, bring your 50 stars flag. 2012 Cup champion Brad Keselowski was more reserved, saying, quote, I'm not going to tell people they need to get rid of it. That's not my right either, but I certainly don't salute it or respect it. Brad Doherty, the lone Black Cup Series team owner in NASCAR, told the AP he stood with Wallace. Earlier this year, the Marine Corps mandated that all Confederate flags, bumper stickers, and similar items be removed from bases. Will NASCAR be next? Pierce said that, quote, that core that core group that may have waved the rebel flag have waned significantly in NASCAR. It's not necessarily a costly stance, I'd say, they're making in terms of the modern-day fan that follows NASCAR. I'm going to reserve judgment until tomorrow. I'll give you my thoughts on this tomorrow night at 11:10 on the Sports Final, right after the NASCAR race. Is NASCAR going to do a good thing? We'll see. We'll see. Stand by. Okay, folks, it is 11:40 here on a rather warm little a little Zoptig type of day. Let's continue our little show. The NBA and the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Harlan, had a little something to say about that the NBA will be the first of the big three professional leagues to be back playing games. Maybe that's only fitting since the league was the first to shut down due to COVID-19, prompting most every other sport to follow. Just how will the broadcast go once the NBA resumes play in July? Well, there already won't be any fans in attendance, but to further reduce the number of people in the arena during games, broadcasters will likely be on the outside looking in. Cameras operated robotically might provide the visuals, and announcers could call the games from remote locations. TNT's affable Kevin Harlan discussed the likely setup, SiriusXM NBA radio with Tom Byrne and Amin Elessian recently, which Richard Deitch included in his Media Circus column for The Athletic. Quoting Mr. Harlan, I've heard from the folks at TNT is we will be in the studios in Atlanta. That's Studio J, the home of Inside the NBA, etc. And they will set up as close to possible a broadcast table like we would have courtside, Harlan said. The one thing I have heard is that not until the conference finals would there be any consideration for broadcasters being in this setting. It might be the first time that an actual broadcaster might be on site during the conference final and, of course, the NBA finals. Harlan also explained that whatever crowd noise is used for a telecast, possibly from the NBA 2K video game, will probably also be played in the announcers' headsets. Now, the plan is for the NBA to restart on July 31st at Disney's ESPN's Wide World of Sports complex in Orlando. The regular season will wrap up with 22 teams playing an 8-game schedule and a possible play-in tournament for the 8th seed in each conference. Then the playoffs will determine the 2019-2020 NBA champion. Several Major League Baseball announcers have reportedly been told that they'll call road games remotely if baseball plays its 2020 season. ESPN's Matt Verzagian said he's been preparing for broadcasting from a studio throughout the COVID-19 shutdown. Now, remote broadcasts will almost certainly be standard operating procedures throughout the sport as part of preventive COVID-19 measures, so it's no surprise that the NBA's TV partners have been planning accordingly. Now, there is somewhat of a little problem. I don't know. As you know, TNT also broadcasts live All Elite Wrestling Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. The one question I have is during the basketball playoffs portion of all this, will they will AEW move those telecasts, the wrestling, from TNT to TBS during the times that they will actually be doing basketball? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Speaking of which, yes, friends, hello. And more as golf returns. And the voice of the Nance will be heard this week. And as the PGA Tour rightfully took a lot of criticism when they went ahead with the first round of the Players' Championship, crowds and all, despite the NBA having suspended their season the night before. It is a bit ironic, then, that the PGA Tour will be back to business before the NBA, but it does make sense. Golf is an outdoor game and can be played with social distancing measures in place. We saw that a few weeks ago when the match brought in huge ratings for Turner. And now the full tour returns this week at Fort Worth's Colonial for the Charles Schwab Challenge. CBS has weekend coverage, and the pandemic means a few changes for personnel. For example, boys and girls, there won't be any roaring crowds, but golf is one of the sports least likely to be affected by that. There's certainly no need to worry about piping in artificial crowd noise. And while CBS is going to have to make some things work on the fly, there's one change that should be very good news. As we saw during the match, if handled well, this is an innovation that could really help golf be a much better television product. It's not a new idea. What is this idea? Simple. Mic up the players. On a media call, CBS said it was working with the tour much more aggressively about miking up players and already have some commitments for Colonial. Now, also in that same conference call, Sean McManus of CBS Sports said that they will have about half of their usual amount of TV crew and talent on site at Colonial versus normal weeks. Their main TV truck normally has 22 people in it. They'll have 9 this week to properly social distance. He also announced that Jim Nantz will be by himself in the 18th tower with a robotic camera. There's usually 5 to 6 people with him during normal weeks. Meanwhile, his broadcast partner, Nick Faldo, will be at the Golf Network studios in Orlando. The Golf Network. No, it's the Golf Channel. Thank you. The Golf Channel will have Thursday and Friday coverage, which will be co-produced by CBS. Now, Jim Nantz will be alone in the 18th tower at Colonial. Nick Faldo, Ian Baker Finch, and Frank Nobilo will be commentating from the Golf Channel studios in Orlando. Dottie Pepper and Mark Immelman will be on the course. So there you go. That's the listings right there. In addition to the mics, there'll be cameras set up for players to talk mid-round. That's right. Having Dustin Johnson offer what could amount to a reality show confessional interview along the 12th fairway actually does sound pretty entertaining, whether it goes well or especially if it goes poorly. It's weird that it took these conditions to bring about some of these experiments. And as we know, experiments have a way of becoming permanent fixtures. Let's just hope the announcers come back in whole. That would be fun. More. Okay, let's give you the fast look, and then we got to hit into some fun-filled fiesta. Skates and Plates will see chefs remotely teach NHL players on how to make particular dishes, starting with Nick Bonino and Steak Diane. That should be fun to watch. Top-ranked COO Brad Jacobs talks return to fights, Las Vegas bubble, Michaela Mayer's positive test, remote broadcasting, and more. We'll tell you all about that tomorrow. Podcast company Blue Wire gets investment from Baron Davis, who will recruit other athletes to the network. I wonder if he's interested in some non-athletes. Let's see. What other thing is going on? Oh, not much. Okay. Well, you know what that means. We got some scores for you, and we're going to give you those scores right now. Let's take it to the scoreboard and give you some scores quickly, then some shout-outs, and then we say night-night. We go night-night. So let's do this. Let's do this. Besides, on a hot day like this, water is the only thing good to drink. Besides tea, Kool-Aid, Okay. Why are we talking water? Simple. We're letting the board here go flume. Okay. Whoa, hi there. You want to try, friends? It's somewhat weird when this happens, but nonetheless, it happens good. You know it does. What's happening? Are we having our problems again? Nope. Okay, we're good. We're good. Good. Hell yeah, we're good. Let's keep going. All right, soccer in Armenia, the Premier League. Ratu over Payunk Yerevan 2-1. Austria, the Tipico Bundesliga regulation group. Admira over St. Polten 3-0. Tyrol and Mattensburg 1. Altak over Austria Vienna 2-0 in the German Bundesliga 2. We had SG Dynamo Dresden and Greuther Fürth tied at 1. In Hungary, the OTP Bank Liga action had Honved and Mol Favra tied at 1. Ujpest over Debrecen 3-1. And Kisvarda and Mezokovid Zori tied at 1. Poland, Cracovia over Lechia Gdansk 3-1. Plasgilwick and Gornik tied at 0. Zagabey and Korona Kielce tied at 1. Lech Poznan over Pogoń Szczecin 4-0. World Cup friendly action. And believe me, this is truly friendly action. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's do this like we mean it, boys. Lillestrøm and Christensen tied at 1. Valerenga defeated Bodo Glimt 1-0. Zurich over Araru 5-1. Vaduz over Lille 2-1. Turkur the second over Pif Pargas 5-3. Grasshopper over Cranes 3-1. KTP defeated Pika 2-0. There's no Pikachu. Opa Tija defeated NK Trimmage 4-2. Pipo defeated Edustis IPS 5-0. Rosenborg beat Ramen 1-0. St. Gallen over Schnaffelhausen 4-2. Stabæk over Odd 2-0. Stromgratset over Rafas 3-0. JAPS from Finland over Espoo 5-1. Laden Repis over Lati Actimia 5-1. VPS over VIFK 5-1. In basketball, Germany BBL final scores. We had Ludwigsburg over Frankfurt by 3, 80-77. Alba Berlin over Bamberg by 7, 98-91. Japan preseason NPB baseball. Chunichi Dragons over the Chibalati Marines 11-5, 11-14-1 for the Dragons, 5-11-3 for the Marines. The Cebu Lions over the Rakuten Golden Eagles, 7-5, 7-10-1 for the Lions, 5-8-1 Golden Eagles. Yakut Swallows over the Nippon Ham Fighters, 5-3, 5-6-0 for the Swallows, 3-7-1 for the Ham Fighters. Hiroshima Cup over the Hanshin Tigers, 8-1, 8-9-0 for the Carp, 1-3-1 for Los Tigres. The Fukuoka Silverhawks over the Oric Buffaloes 2-0, 2-6-0 Hawks, 0-6-1 Buffaloes. And the Yokohama Bay Stars, they lost to the Yomiuri Giants 8-6, 8-15-1 Giants, 6-9-1 Bay Stars. In the Korean Baseball Organization in South Korea, the Tigers over the KT with Suwon 3-2, 3-5-0 Tigers, 2-7-0 Suwon. SK Wyverns over the LG Twins 5-3, 5-10-1 Wyverns, 3-11-0 Twins. Lottie Giants over the Hanwha Eagles 9-3, 9-16-1 for the Giants, 3-10-0 for the Eagles. NC Dinos over the Doosan Bears 12-8, 12-12-1 for the Dinos, 8-11-0 for the Bears. The Kiwoom Heroes over the Samsung Lions 5-3, 5-11-0 Heroes, 3-11-0 Samsung Lions. In Taiwan, the CPBL first stage, Uni Lions over the Rakuten Monkeys 7-6, 7-12-1 Lions, 6-13-2 Monkeys. In the minor league CPBL in Taiwan, it was the Fubon Guardians sequel over the China Trust Brothers sequel, 10-4, 10-15-0 Guardians sequel, 4-11-1 Brothers sequel, and the Rakuten Monkeys sequel over the Weishuan Dragons, 9-2, 9-10-0 Monkeys sequel, and 2-5-0 for the Dragons. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has given us the 5-minute barrier. That's right, we've hit the 5-minute barrier. So it is time. Time is on our side. Yes, it is. That's right. It's time right now. We take you from our scoreboard to our shout-outs, and we do so with, as we like to call it, respect, love, and total pleasure. Hi, Kiba. All right. Hello, Brenda Dixon. Hello, Pamela M. Shoemaker. Hello, Michael Pickrell, Tony Pickrell, Yvonne Pickrell, Ricky Pickrell, Brenda Gaminsky, Stephen Michael Gaminsky, my Uncle Mike Gaminsky, Rob Oberhoff. How you doing? Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, Yuki Tanaka, Anne-Marie Mann, Jay the Marine Man, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Heather, Yvonne, yeah, I've already mentioned. Yes, I have mentioned, yes. Okay, let's keep going. We got about 3 minutes, and we can do this. January J. Keaton, hello, how are you? Casey Ann, how you doing? How's everything? Glad to hear from you. Helena Kirby, Vanessa Elise, Cassie Little, Amari Woods, how you doing? Glad everyone and everything is doing fan-damn-tastic. The Real Deal, Miss Linda Steele, howdy hi, Heidi ho, how are you? And away we go. Okay, let's keep going here as we, that is some cool air that's coming in. Claudia Trejos, hello. All the ladies from Dorothy Malone, hi, how are you? Glad to have you. We also say hi to Kellyanne Collins, Marielle Liu, also Elaine Boozler. We say hello to her. We say hi to Travis, all my friends. Dale Sankey, Marley Wiley, Jeff Rollo, Blind Lemon, George Templeton, of course, the great Nellie K9, Mrs. Nellie K9N and Sapod, all my friends, AFL room, and the greatest chat room of all time, thebasement.com.au. We also say hi and how do to Brian Mann, Chad Nappy, Chris Lewis, Chris French, Dallas LaPlante, Danielle Wilcox Graves, Donna Payne, Deborah Hilliker. Hello. Up, boys. One more. Thank you. Deborah Hilliker. Deshaun Whipple, Etan G, the Jewish rapper, Jeff Bundy, the real Reffin Show, Jennifer Finney, Kika Bachman Tech, Mary Jo Rapini, Panda Yen, Paul Anthony Slowinski, Phil Monahan, Ralph Gautier, Regina Nicole Pelkis, Regina Lewis, Rick Giampa, Rob Rago, Robbie Lee Shepard, Roman Ronan, and his ladies of joy and happiness. Stephen Rivera, hi, how are you? Glad to see you. Hot Stuff Rivera, Tyke Prado, Zach Burton, Tanya TKO, Eddie Farhat as well. Jennifer Finney, oh boy. Also, we say hello to Kiki Melendez. We also say Hi, greetings, and total cheroots to Bobby Strauss. Let's see who else. I know we're running late. That's me. I run late because I am late sometimes. All my friends on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Dear Instagram, how are you? Okay, folks, that, for want of a better word, and a better way to end the show, is that. That is it. We have gone over time again, but it felt so good to do it. Friends, that's going to wrap things up for us. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. We'll see you tomorrow night. That's a Wednesday. We'll have the results of our NASCAR. I do believe it's the Cup Series. We'll have the results of that. We'll also have the results of AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. They are live this week, still at Daly's place in the Ville, Jacksonville, Florida. Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur will be there always. Plus, all the latest sports news. And we're targeting Friday. That's right. You're going to hear this. We're targeting Friday for a little something I promised Alex Sims. You won't believe what I do. Oh, I don't believe I can get away with it, but what the hell. Anyway, so please enjoy what we have for you this week. It is sports with a little comic wink and a nudge. Hey, say no more, say no more. We can't say no more because we're done. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been an L2C. This has been a Mystifying Creativity presentation for the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports and YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching. No matter what sports you love, may your favorite team always be winners. Good night, America, wherever and where ye may be. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody, from all of us here at the L2C Sports Final and L2C Sports.